Ever feel like you're spinning 100 plates? Business, clients, family, and any second they could all come crashing down? What if the secret to keeping it all together isn't working harder, but building simple systems that actually give your sanity back to you? Welcome to Beyond the Business Plan. I'm LeAnn Lyon, your guide on this journey to success. We will explore the inspiring stories of visionary leaders and groundbreaking entrepreneurs and unveil the tools and strategies that can empower you to manage your business from anywhere in the world. Join me, LeAnn, as we learn, laugh, and take the leap towards unleashing your joyful business journey. And let's make it happen now. Hi, my name is LeAnn Lyon. I am the host of this show, Beyond the Business Plan. It's a pleasure to be here. This is one of those episodes. Every few episodes, I record a solo episode where it's just me sharing my life experiences and my business experiences, in addition to the episodes in between where I interview amazing entrepreneurs on their entrepreneurial journey. If you are a burned out professional or other aspiring entrepreneur, I'm glad you're here. It can be a real challenge to jump into entrepreneurship. We get it. And that's what Joyminder helps with, is we want to help bring you joy in the journey of entrepreneurship. So today we're going to talk about the chaos of not having a system and creating systems that will really change your life and your business. So let me tell you a story. In 2019, we had a manufacturing company that, for reasons that I won't get into today, closed. And suddenly I'm left without a business. And so I thought, okay, well, I'm not hireable anymore, so I'll start another business. I will consult and help other business owners start their businesses. And so I wanted to be a business consultant. I thought that'd be fun. And so I dove in. I started writing blogs. I started doing social posts. I started doing, I created a website. But I was doing it on all sorts of different platforms. The blog over here, the social media posts over there. It was so chaotic. And it got to the point that I felt like I was spending half my day, every day, marketing, and I had no time to even really work with clients or, make some money. Well, then 2020 happened, so everything changed. Everything went really crazy. If you live through it, you know what I'm talking about. If you know, you know. And even those plans went out the window. So again, I felt like I had to restart. But this time, I was blessed that a friend reached out and introduced me to a platform that brought everything together. In one place, I could build websites and landing pages and social media posts and have my CRM and communicate with people and set up autoresponders all in one place. It was a game changer. Suddenly, I could actually create systems that would work, and I didn't have to be doing every individual thing. It was such a blessing. Well, on top of it, that particular platform had an affiliate program. So, wow, this is fun. Now I could share what I was doing and how I was doing it with other aspiring entrepreneurs so that they could step in and use this platform in the same way. Oh, wait, that's called a system. So I was creating a system that helped other entrepreneurs use a system that made their entrepreneurial journey better. Make sense? So where in your life could you use some systems? Where are you feeling like things are chaotic? I'll use another personal example. When we first got married 30 years ago, I thought, okay, we're going to have a system. On Tuesdays, we're going to go grocery shopping. And on Thursdays, we're going to clean the apartment so that we can be ready to entertain friends on Fridays and Saturdays. And then on Sunday, we're going to go to church. And then we're going to come home from church and and I had this whole lineup of This is the system we're going to follow. And I presented it to my new husband, and he said, no, no, we're just going to live. We're just going to be. We're just going to, things will get done. And so, new in a relationship, new marriage. I mean, we'd been dating for 17 months, but now we're married. And this is like one of the first things where I thought, oh, well, I thought we would have a system to how we did things, and he just wanted to wing it. Well, 30 years later, we've kind of done both. I'll say we've done a little more of the winging it on the personal side, but when it comes to business, having a system just makes sense. In my Joyminder business, I am so blessed that I wake up every Monday morning, and one of the first things I do is I meet with one of my business partners. We have a personal touch time on what's going on in our worlds. Then we move into a group that I've been leading for years called the Joyminder Leaders League. And again, other entrepreneurs come in and we pour into each other. We talk about the challenges and things that we're working on and where we'd like to go, and we help each other out, kind of like a mastermind almost. And then I go into and I have a Q&A hour where anybody is welcome. You're welcome to join me on Zoom for a free hour of just actionable advice. Come on in, ask me about something. If it's something I can answer, I will. If it's somebody I can connect you to, I will. That's what Q&A hours are for, and I have 2 of those per week. But having these systems in place means I don't wonder when I'm going to do the different things that I do. I have specific times in my week that I record these shows. And I have a very specific system that I set up to prepare for these shows. How do I come up with what I'm going to do? How do I organize it? How do I do my post production? All of these systems I have put in place, and that's what we do with Joyminder Solutions. Help other entrepreneurs step into, find the systems that make their life easier. And that's what I love to do. So systems really, really, truly make a difference. Let's talk about why systems matter. First of all, they just plain help reduce stress. If you know what you're going to do, then you don't have to wonder what you're going to do. Pretty much every evening, I look ahead to the next day and I set alarms in my phone so that I know I don't have to worry about missing a meeting, because 10 minutes before every meeting, an alarm goes off on my phone letting me know, hey, it's time to make sure you're prepared for that meeting. It also frees up a lot of mental energy. In one of my earlier podcasts, I talked about, why do I wear the same thing on most of my shows? Not all of them, but if you watch on YouTube or any visual platform, you'll see I pretty much wear the same thing on most of these shows. Why? Because I don't want the stress of having to make those decisions every single time. The decision fatigue of trying to have a new, creative, clever, new, oh, did I wear a blue shirt twice in a row? I don't want that. It's just easier if I wear something I know I look good, I feel good in, that I feel confident in, and I wear it every single time. It's one less thing. This show isn't about the LeAnn fashion show. If you want that, well, it's not here. So having a system, a plan for certain things you do and how you do them reduces the decision fatigue or the mental energy that it takes. Also, it helps you to focus on what really, really matters. Recording these shows in a timely manner so that I also have time to produce them and load them and get them up. Well, you can't do it last minute. Trust me, I've tried. It's not fun. So now I'm recording in advance, making sure that I have multiple shows loaded in advance so that it's just easy. If something happens, because in life, if something often happens, then at least one less stress that I have is, what am I going to do? How am I going to get that show loaded up? So I try to have at least 3 weeks of shows loaded at all times, because life happens. Last year, just, you know, full transparency, in 1 week, I managed to break 2 bones. And just the physical energy that took out of my body to heal, I was down for about 3 weeks while my body just spent a lot of time working on knitting those bones together. Or in the case of other situations, a family member has a situation, or a loved one this isn't my personal story right now, but what if a loved one has a situation or passes? That can knock you out of your game really, really fast. So if you're thinking about going into entrepreneurship, as much as possible, you want to have systems that allow you to get ahead so that you can do those things. And by the way, you also want to get ahead so you can do this thing called, wait, hold on, I can get the word. It's called, oh, it starts with a V, vacation. If you're ahead, you can go on vacation and your business can still run. In fact, in the next 3 weeks, actually, I'm recording this episode before I go on vacation so that it will be ready to play after I get back from vacation without me having to suddenly record, produce, and put it up. So I'm preparing in advance. I have episodes lined up for what I'm going to talk about for the next, couple of months until we lead up to the restart your business summit. And there's so many other ways that you can set up systems to make your life and your business run more smoothly. One more area where you can create systems is in your content. I want you to think about all of the Facebook posts you looked at yesterday. How many can you remember? Okay, I know somebody's listening. I don't listen to Facebook. Fine. Think about whatever social media platform you like. Tell me about all of the posts, all of the videos you watched the last time you opened up that social media platform. I'm guessing you remember a couple at most, because the truth is most people just don't remember that much. If it makes a huge impact, maybe you even save it to your phone. I don't even know how many I've saved to my phone and then not gone back and looked at. So you can create content for your business that you can reuse over and over and over again. When we had a health and wellness business years ago, I had 17 weeks of content. And every 17 weeks, I reused the same 17 weeks of content because if you can't remember what you saw yesterday, do you remember what you saw 17 weeks ago? And on top of that, people who need your content often need to hear it several times over before it actually starts to sink in. So if you're repeating it every few weeks or every 17 weeks, it's going to still take a while for it to sink in. Maybe you're better on a 3-week rotation. So having a system makes it easier. When you're setting up the system, it can take a little bit of time. When I set up my 17-week rotation, those weeks were hard. I was writing, I think, 5 blogs per week. I was producing 3 social media posts per day. So that's 15 social media posts. And I was putting the blogs together into an ebook, something to that effect. I think maybe I had groupings. This is a few years back, just saying. But however it is, you can create things that can be put out separately, that can be combined and put together. Eventually, it could become your ebook or your book as you continue to add on to your systems. And then once you have your base system put together, you can add on to it at a slower pace. Keep it fresh. Maybe just review it a couple times a year instead of reinvent it a couple times a year. Unless you're a maximizer, which is from Clifton Strengths Finder. If you're a maximizer, you're going to redo it all the time anyway. But have fun with that. I'm not a maximizer. I love to reuse the content that I've used before. Recycle, reuse. It just makes sense. And by the way, reduces my stress, reduces my decision fatigue, and helps to solidify the same message going out so that people get the same message from me and from my brand. If you want to talk about branding, go back a couple episodes. We had a lot of fun talking about branding, and using a system to create your brand is a smart idea as well. So there you go. We're going to take a real quick break here and come back, and we're going to talk about some simple, actionable systems that you can take and some tools that will make it easy. Hey, coffee aficionados and entrepreneurs, LeAnn Lyon here. Are you craving that caffeine kick, But looking for a healthier alternative? Well, 9 years ago, I discovered the ultimate collection of energizing options to fuel your entrepreneurial spirit without the jitters. Discover your next favorite pick me up today and keep your business dreams brewing strong. Hear what it did for me by visiting this website, whyilovemycoffee.com. Yes, that's the URL, whyilovemycoffee.com, because your peak performance deserves more than just another cup of joe. And we're back. Hi, I'm LeAnnLyon.com, host of Beyond the Business Plan. We have been talking about turning chaos into systems and why it makes sense to help entrepreneurs on their journey. For me, decision fatigue is a really, really big deal. And so having systems in place so that I can just run my business on a more normal basis is also a really big deal. If you've listened to a few of my shows, you'll know that one of our goals, my husband and I plan to go on the river and live in a boat for a while, about 8,000 miles worth of a while, which might be a couple of years, and continue to run this podcast and this business. Well, I'm going to have a system around that, like Wi-Fi, like how I connect when I record, how I, reach out to the people that are assisting me with production, different things like this. It's all about having systems. And in the Joyminder ecosystem, if you will, we have a system that we run on a 4-month schedule. So we have trimesters. We don't do quarters. A lot of businesses have your annual meeting, right? And then you have your quarterly meetings. Well, I have trimester meetings. And every 3 months, or wow, trimester, but every 4 months, we have a summit called the Restart Your Business Summit. And that's at the end of each trimester. So every trimester begins the first of the month after the summit, and we roll forward, getting ready for the next summit. And it's really a fun system because as I find the speakers that are going to speak on my next summit, I do episode recordings with them. They become the episodes that are released right before the summit. Then they pour into entrepreneurs during the summit, and then we move forward again. So having the system in place where I don't have to think about, well, what am I going to do next? What am I going to do next? It's there. Now I can add on to the system and say, okay, and then after the summit, we do XYZ, or in the middle of the trimester, we're going to do something every month or once a year, however it might be. But having the base system in place, knowing how and when you run your system makes a lot of sense. Now let's talk about some other basic systems, like daily routine. For most of us, hopefully, we've gotten into the system and of brushing our teeth in the morning, some basics that we do in the morning. Well, how you start your day is a really, really big deal. And having a morning ritual makes a big difference. There's a book out there, and I've followed it at times and other times not so much, by the name of Hal Elrod, Elrod. And he has a book out called The Morning Miracle. There's another one out there, something like the 4 a.m. Club or the 5 a.m. Club. I've looked at it as well, where essentially you can get a whole lot of your day packed in before the rest of the world starts to crowd in on you. So I've kind of combined a few of these systems together, making it my own. Have I published the book? Not yet. But my system essentially starts even before I get out of bed. I make sure that I've read some scripture, that I've done some prayers, some meditation, and that's a very important part. When I'm at my best, the next thing I do is my workout clothes are laid out, and I go and I move my body and I get my energy done. Then I get to enjoy my healthy coffee. Note to you, yes, there is a healthier version of coffee. If you want to know about it, go to Why I Love My Coffee. That's WHY I Love My Coffee.com. And that's part of my normal morning ritual as well, because putting something very, very healthy into my body instead of acidic is part of my morning ritual. It helps me to get my day going. And while I do that, I relax my body with a product that helps to actually put more energy into my system. So I have a whole system of things that I do before the days and the meetings start crowding in on me. And because I have a system, I don't have to think about what I'm going to do. I know that on certain days I'm going to go to the gym and I'm going to do weight workouts. And on other days, I'm just going to go and take a gentle walk or do some stretching. When you have a system, you don't have to decide all the time. So maybe you read the books that I've recommended, or maybe you just, sit with yourself and decide what's going to serve you most. Set up your system that will meet your needs, nutritional, spiritual, emotional, mental, physical, and get a morning system down that will really help you. It will kick off the rest of your day better than you can ever believe. And give yourself some grace. When you're starting a new entrepreneurial adventure, sometimes those morning routines can get a little skewed. As quickly as possible, when you see that they've gone astray, bring them back into alignment. Trust me, it's the best thing you can do for you and your business. Let's talk about systems around client management. Yay! You finally got a new client. That's amazing. Client acquisition can be one of the most expensive parts of a business. You spend a lot of money on marketing and advertising, perhaps, and so forth, and pouring in sometimes time to free consultations. They're free for them, not for you. So putting together PDFs or presentations, all of that takes time, and time is money. So it's not free to get a client at all. But once you have a client who's willing to pay you, whether it's for your $9 almost freebie or your $9,000 package, you work with your client, and then what? Do they just fall off the face of the earth? Well, then you have to go constantly acquiring new clients. So have a system in place that you're keeping in touch with your people. I have a system in place that the valuable partnerships that you develop, that they don't just disappear. Relationships are the most valuable commodity of all. They truly are. And so make sure you have a system for keeping in touch with people, even if you maybe employ some help with it, or your system for keeping in touch is perhaps your newsletter or a text message that you send out, or an I like inspirational quotes. If you get an inspirational quote from me occasionally, you know I like you, because it means I really want to keep in touch with you and I want to inspire you. And that's actually why I'm putting together an app to inspire people that just love inspirational quotes, as well as aspiring entrepreneurs who just need that encouragement and that pick me up. So, still working on that. That will be fun. And it's part of the system I'm putting together for how Joyminder works and how we can effectively inspire other burned out professionals like I was to become a joyful entrepreneur. Let's have a system for your family. Let's see. There's this thing. It starts with a C. It's called a calendar. Now, I grew up with a paper calendar, and we had the paper calendar on the inside of the cupboard in the kitchen. And my name is LeAnn. So if it was something about me or for me, I got the initials LA on that calendar. Because the calendar, is a traditional paper calendar, but there was only one little tiny box for every single given day. There were no electronic calendars, no Google calendars, no iPhone calendars. It was just this one paper calendar, but everything went on it, whether it was a course that we were taking, a class, a pickup, a drop off. For me, it was a synchronized swimming meet a lot of the time in high school, or a swimming meet, or a play that I was in. All the different things went on that calendar. And by the way, I wasn't an only child. So all of my sisters events went on there, when she was in skating or, when we went to camp. We both were blessed to go to these amazing language camps when we were kids. Hmm, 2 weeks without kids on my parents' calendar. And when we were in high school, it was a whole month. Oh, by the way, did the same thing with my kids. Really awesome. Highly recommend these language camps. And the system was there then that when our kids were teenagers, my husband and I had a whole month off of parenting. Just saying. It's nice to have a system. And we would make plans for what we were doing during that time. Now, it wasn't completely off because, of course, we were writing emails and maybe we would pop up on the parent weekend and things like that, but yeah, we had a system, and I even had a system to making sure that I did actually write them letters at camp, and I had to. Otherwise I just get caught up in my day and move on, and then they're like, Mom, you never wrote to me. Yeah, so I'm not saying I ever won the parent of the year award, but I have two daughters that are grown and thriving, so I'm not feeling too bad about it. But family balance, have a calendar. Use your calendar. I've shared this story before, but my youngest at one point was really frustrated. She felt like she couldn't reach me. She didn't know what I was doing. And because we do have electronic calendars, I was able to just share my calendar. I'm like, hey, I'm not hiding what I'm doing for work. So here's my calendar. If you can't reach me, you can check my calendar and see if I'm in a meeting or something, or sent now, of course, and back then we really didn't even have text messages yet, but now she can send me a text message. She can leave me an audio note if there's something she wants to share with me. So, but have that system as well. And if you are like, I have adult kids now, they don't have to reach me when I'm in my meetings and when I'm doing my episodes, but I'd still want to have a system for them feeling like they can reach out anytime and that they know I'll get back to them. Set up your systems with your family. And most importantly, if you're married, set up a system with your spouse. Please set up a system with your spouse. Even when our kids were little, we had an au pair. We usually had au pairs from Sweden that came over here on a visa, and they lived with our family for a year. And they were scheduled most Friday evenings through Saturday mornings. So my husband and I had a date night, even when our kids were little. And we got to sleep in on Saturday mornings because it was her job to get up at 6 a.m. and keep the kids entertained and happy while we got to sleep. So that was part of our system. Now she got a weekend off per month too. And so then that was our chance to get up and have a whole big family weekend. And it was really fun. But having a system in place for your spouse, for time together, meals together, super important, especially when you're in an entrepreneurial role, which can sometimes feel very much like it takes over your life. Don't let it. Make sure you have a system in place so that you have a life and not just a business. And finally, on this part, any system, any little system. Try any tiny little system and see if it doesn't make your life better, and see if you don't get addicted to having systems just like me. So check out those books, check or design your own system. I would love to hear back from you if you've done something, or if you have a system that you love. Maybe you have a system that you've turned into a business. Let's talk. I am always looking to talk to innovative entrepreneurs on the show and just in life. And so, jump on to one of my Q&A calls, or come on over to Leaders League even and jump in and share some ideas. We'd love to hear from you. And we'd love to potentially look at your system and see if it's something that we can work together on. That would be so much fun. And to conclude, that's what JoyMinder is really about. We have our trusted tools, we have our curated connections, we've got our business ideas, and ultimately we have our systems. If you like this podcast, you think it's okay, Fine, great. I have a system for what I did to set it up, to make it run, how I do the editing, how I use AI to create prompts that make the editing faster, as well as even putting the episodes together. Do you think I talked with AI about this topic today? You better believe it. So, if you want systems for how to make your life a little easier, maybe not have to make all the decisions yourself and yet still be in control, I have a system for that. You want to run a summit. Summits are amazing ways to connect with a lot of people. I have a summit system. You want to, whatever it is, if there's a business you want to start, network marketing business you want to start, I have a system. And so just reach out if these are systems that could help you as well. I'd love to share what we have. And we have lots of different layers. So if you want to just observe it, that's one thing. If you want to copy some templates or get some coaching, or we'll even do it for you, those are all systems that we have in place ready to serve. So, there are so many ways that we can build systems into our lives to make our entrepreneurial journeys a little less chaotic. If you have gotten benefit from anything I've shared today, I really would love to hear from you. You can find me at LeAnnLyon.com, LeAnnLyon.com. From there, you can get over to Joyminder. You can see other things that we're up to. You can find out where my Q&A calls are, all the different things, and reach out to us also on social media. I have a social media system. Just saying. And imagine waking up tomorrow knowing exactly what matters most. No more chaos, just clarity. That's the power of simple systems. Start small, start today, and watch your overwhelm turn into order. And thanks for joining me on this episode of Beyond the Business Plan to unleash your joyful business potential. Remember, entrepreneurship is a voyage you can take with others. So find your tribe for the journey and give us a like or subscribe or whatever you do on your favorite podcast or video platform to keep shining and aligning with your purpose and Joyminder solutions. Then come on back every week for our new inspiring episodes. And until next time, I'm LeAnn Lyon, your Chief Joy Officer. Keep spreading the joy, keep leading with heart, and I'll catch you on the next wave of success. Hey, sales setters, are you ready to jumpstart your entrepreneurial journey or give your business a powerful refresh? Join us at the next and Restart Your Business Summit, where you'll discover the tools, strategies, and inspiration you need to thrive. Learn more at joyminder.com. That's JOYMINDER.com, and look for the Restart Your Business Summit icon. Don't miss out. Your future business awaits. Thank you all for joining us today on Beyond the Business Plan. It's been a joy and a privilege to share this space with you. For more inspiring stories, tools, and actionable insights, make sure to follow us on your favorite video platform. Visit my website, LeAnnLyon.com, and keep leading with heart. And I'll catch you on the next wave of success.